Okay, so we're replacing the screen on an iPad 2 that has some cracks in it. So we're going to start by turning our heat gun on to the low setting and heat up the adhesive around the edges. You want to heat for about 60 seconds or so, and then take the metal spudger and get right here under the edge of the screen. Make sure not to insert it too far so we don't damage any internal components. I left the screen protector on there to try and help keep the pieces of the broken glass together while I take this screen off. So as we continue working our way around the edges, we put these opening picks in there to keep the adhesive from sticking again. Need to take care in this area because the Wi-Fi antenna is attached right there and over here where the cable for the front panel is. Alright, and right here I'm expecting a little bit more resistance because this is where the other corner is broken. I had some difficulty getting past the broken chunks of glass over here on the corner I started with. Once I got past there and got it heated up enough to where the adhesive would let go, it went pretty smooth all the way around. Alright, now with this free, take this and flip the cover over. It's still currently connected right here with its cable. Okay, so from here, we are going to need to unplug this cable. So we're going to take our 00 screwdriver, Okay, so now that I've got the digitizer carefully sitting here, we need to unplug the ribbon cable for the screen. To make it a little bit easier, I'm going to unplug the digitizer so I can move that all the way out of the way. So we have a little metal bar. Okay. So it pulls back and out of there. Okay, so now that I've got the digitizer unplugged, take it and leave it on this piece of foam. We're going to move that over out of the way. Right here is where the digitizer plugged in. Now we're going to remove this cable. got a little bit of adhesive right here on the back of this cable. And we're going to pull it free. Alright. So from this point, I am going to work my way around the edges to make sure that we don't have any pieces of glass still stuck to the case. Okay, so for this next part, I'm going to be replacing the Wi-Fi antenna, which is right here. This one came with a brand new Wi-Fi antenna, so I figured I got it open, why not put it in? So to remove the Wi-Fi antenna, we're going to need to remove 4 little screws. There's 2 right here, 1 right here, and 1 right here. These 2 screws are super tiny. Okay, so now that we've got those out, we're going to need to unplug the charge cable. Next, we need to remove the motherboard. So we're going to remove these 5 screws. Okay, so with the screws removed from there, we need to disconnect the cable to the audio jack and the battery cable. Okay, so the underside of the motherboard, we have where the antenna cable connects. Okay, so we're going to scrape this foam residue off of here. There's new foam on the new Wi-Fi antenna. Okay. So there's two little UFL connectors under here. We're going to connect this to the bottom one from the angle that this is at. Okay. Next, we are going to peel this red plastic that is protecting our adhesive for this wire. So we're going to pull that off. We are going to slide our tape under the power and speaker wire. That back in place. I'm going to go ahead and reattach that. Okay, so while I needed to charge my camera a little bit, I finished putting in these screws. So I've got those 4 screws back in there on the Wi-Fi. Got that all connected back in. I've got the motherboard screwed back in. I've got those cables back connected. Now to grab the digitizer, connect it right here, and then we will put the glass back to this one. Okay, so now that we have everything inside plugged back in, we got the new white bezel around there. We're going to connect our ribbon cable for the front panel glass. So we're going to push both of those into the little connector slots and rotate these little locking levers down. A couple of nice little ZIF connectors. Okay, now that we have that back in, we are going to move my nice spiffy piece of styrofoam back over here so we can reconnect the LCD panel. Which actually, before I do this part, turn this so that the camera will be able to see. Okay, so we get that back in, clip that back down. I'm going to go ahead and lay our LCD screen back on there. Make sure that we get it nice and lined up. Okay, and then we are going to take our 4 screws and screw it back down. Okay, so now at this point, prior to fully connecting anything else, we're going to want to gently set this in there to kind of test that it's going to fit, everything's going to be just right, before removing those adhesive strips and making this thing finished. So while I have it like this, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on and make sure everything works. Alright, so it is powered up. And it's looking like everything is working just fine. Okay, so now I'm going to shut it back off. I'm going to grab the cleaning rag that came with it. I'm going to open this back up. And I want to make sure that the screen is nice and clean. There's no marks, there's no dust, none of that kind of stuff, so that when I get this put back together, I don't have anything on my screen that is causing me problems later. The inside of my screen is nice and clean. Try to get the paper off of these 3M adhesive strips. I'm going to take this little strip of adhesive off of our Wi-Fi antenna. And we are going to carefully and gently lift this up and over. And we are going to gently but firmly push down. And we are going to peel this off. I'm going to do this to hold it. And I am done.